guest joins us from San Francisco. We have Mr. Paul LeJoy, the founder of Pacific Realty, an entrepreneur, a successful businessman, also a motivational speaker. And you say, Paul, that it's impossible to be poor in America. Why is that?
Well, I think so. Hi, Lauren. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Paul?
I'm doing great. I think it's impossible to be poor in America. After 10 years of observing the American society, and I've lived around the world. I was born in Africa. I was born in Cameroon, a poor country. I went to school in England, and then I lived in Asia, Taiwan. And
Quite
after
a story.
10 years here, yes, after 10 years here in America, I think it's impossible to be poor in America. And people challenge that, but I think I really want to inspire them and say, read my book. It's a very short book. It's less than 150 pages. And if you are not making more than $23,000 a year in America, then I can show you how to make that amount of money even in 3 months.
I think your critics they don't have your story. You came from an unfortunate beginning in the country that you were living. You're educated, you're self-made. You've seen so many things. Other people don't have that vision, and you do. And that's why you have 5 surefire ways to prevent failure, and obviously with preventing failure, making it essentially impossible, like you say, to be poor. What are some of those ways? You say here, short-sightedness, that's a big problem.
Yes, exactly. See, if you're short-sighted, you're only living for today, and you're not living about, the future. If you only think about yourself and not think about us, okay? If you're not thinking about your society, if you're not thinking about your neighborhood, guess what is happening? Then you only think about yourself. You're living hand to mouth. Then what's happening is that you're bound to fail because you don't have a vision. You see, I live here in the Bay Area where you have Google, Facebook, Yahoo, Twitter, all these companies. You have PayPal, you have eBay. How can you not be inspirational? How can you not have a vision to be like these people? They got 2 eyes, 1 nose, 1 head, just like the rest of us. And so I'm so inspired to be here, and I kind of think if you live, especially here in the Bay Area, in the San Francisco Bay Area, and you are not inspired by these companies, guess what? Then I think you have yourself to blame. So you got to start with a vision. Today is the first day of the rest of your life, so you got to have a vision. For lack of a vision, people perish. If you don't have a vision, guess what? You're bound to fail, right?
Think big. So you can say, go big, think big, or go home, right?
Exactly, that's what it is. So you must start first with a vision. What do you want to be in the future? What do you want for your life? What do you want for your children and your grandchildren?
I'm inspired by you. You're certainly a motivational speaker for me. Can you tell us a little bit about your story? Because you did start a company, right? Pacific Realty Partners?
Yes. Okay, see, I started Pacific Realty Partners in 2007. 2007, when the economy was going down. That's when I started, right? So basically, and what happened was that I was about to throw in the towel because I went from January to June without a penny. I did not make any money. I was about to leave America and head back to Asia, where I came from, at least prior to me moving to America, But that's when I started the company, Pacific Realty Partners. I thought when the going gets tough, the tough get going. So I saw at that time, who are those people foreclosing on the properties? Who are those people selling properties? Being a real estate broker, I thought, okay, cool. If you can't beat them, join them. The banks were the ones foreclosing on properties at that time. So I started a company, and I started doing what they call BPOs, broker price opinions, for the banks. And before I realized it, 2009, I was a top broker for a city mortgage in the entire Northern California. So again, when the going gets tough, the stuff get going. And now my company is one of the fastest growing companies here in the Bay Area. I had a vision, Lauren, for my company. I had a vision for my life. So because of that, I was able to withstand all the vicissitudes of the day, all the, the bad economy. And you know what happened between 2008 and 2010. But today, we're so vibrant. I have people want to invest with me. People want to be exclusive to me to buy properties here in the Bay Area and across the country. So that's the vision part, But you got to be determined. You have to have the determination. If you say, I have a vision, but you're not determined, right? Then you're going to fail. You got to have the discipline. You got to be so disciplined, because, there's certain things I have to forgo, I have to sacrifice to get to where I want to be. because my vision, I have to be so laser focused on my vision that this is what I want to be. And so I'm going to have some distractions along the way, but I am not going to give up. People give up so easily. And when we watch people like Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, they play basketball and they play so easily. You know, we think that, okay, they were made, cut out for that. No, they're determined, they're disciplined. And because of that, things become second nature to them.
What
if
do
you
you
see someone...
What do you mean here by instability?
Instability, exactly. Instability is people, you know, if you find someone, I have some agents in my company, you know, who just stay there and they just think, okay, Paul is a hotter shot right now. So what will happen is that they join the company, but they don't see the long-term vision. They're not determined. So what will happen is that they just jump from one company to another. So if someone's out there, yeah, that's instability, right? See, for example, in most countries in the world, I mean, third world countries, what do you see? Countries in Africa, you have coup d'etats all the time. There's instability. Because of instability, you have failure. Same thing for the individual. If you have instability in your life, you're not determined, if you're not disciplined, you are bound to fail. You're bound to fail, as simple as that. But America is such a great country that, I mean, it provides all the infrastructure that, you know, I mean, if you fail here, then you have yourself to blame.
That's one of the big differences between people who live in some other countries, particularly those developing countries and those third world nations, and people that live here. Life is a luxury in some of those other places, and people here take life for granted. And that must bother you a little bit, because we don't realize, Americans don't realize all of the opportunities that are right there if we just would actually go and try to get them.
Exactly. So in my book, actually, the privilege of my book, I talk about it's impossible to be poor in America. I said basically you have 413 billionaires in America. Out of 1,200 billionaires in America, in the world, you have almost half of those in America. Half of those have already pledged to give 50% of their wealth to the general public, to the Americans. And I say, what are you doing about it? If you're watching this, what are you doing about it? Are you getting that money? See, just about 3 months ago, we heard that Facebook founder gave $500 million to a charity, right? That's it. When people get to that stage and they, like Warren Buffett and Bill Gates, they want to give money back to the society. And I think all Americans have to do is avail themselves to that amount of money. We have a ton of foundations in America. You have a ton of VC companies, venture capitalists. You have a lot of angel investors. You know, people like this want to invest in you, right?
Paul LeJoy.
So the opportunities are there.
We have to end it there. Thank you so much.
Oh, I thank you, Lauren.
Your website is on the screen.